All right, come on in because I have some beautiful looks for you today. Let's get started. Hey guys, this is Ashley. Welcome on back to my channel. So today I have the beautiful sister palette that was added on to the Archeo and Paleo palettes from Clionadh Cosmetics. And this is the Oceano palette, and it is super gorgeous. Oh my gosh, do you see this color story? But before I start talking about this, let me go ahead and introduce myself. If you are new to this channel, welcome. And if you're oldie but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashley. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup. And so I am trying. Some days are better than others. I'm still having some setbacks. I'm trying to feel better, but the little moments that I do feel better and I can work on my YouTube for a couple hours here, a couple hours there, I am doing that. Plus doing YouTube gives me great joy. So I think it's definitely helping with my spirits and my overall mood. So I definitely picked up this palette, and I also picked up, where is she? All right, so I knew this collection was coming out and I definitely wanted to partake in it because these definitely gave the old school vibes of YouTube, and I was so excited. And once I found out about Clionadh Cosmetics and when these particular, well, this and the Archeo palette came out, I had basically missed the mark. I really wasn't into indie brands like that, but I definitely found that the palettes were gorgeous. At that time I was watching Angie's channel. Back then, she still lived in Sweden. She was well known, but not as big as she is now, but she definitely did the look inspirations from then. And she was the person that taught me about Clionadh Cosmetics. And here is the Paleo palette if you want to see it. Really gorgeous. Neutral with, like, spicy neutral with pop of blue. Really gorgeous palette and color story. So this collection launched around the beginning of July. I was actually in the hospital when this collection launched, and I wanted to get all three palettes. And then I saw the price tag and I said, yeah, three ain't gonna happen. And then I saw non-pores eye swatches and all three, and I was like, I'm gonna get all three. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not. So I opted for Paleo and Oceano because I felt like these were the two that spoke to me the most. And Oceano is actually the new addition. So this is the sister palette to the other two. Now, I want to say these palettes, it had to be a strong, like 2017, 2016 when these first came out. So I have never actually tried the mattes from Clionadh Cosmetics. They mostly do, singles. They're definitely known for their stained glass collection. And I definitely wanted to try some of the other shimmer formulas from them, plus the mattes. And this color story is just gorgeous. Now, this palette is expensive. It retails for about $85.79 as change. And like I said, not cheap. Clionadh is not an inexpensive brand by any means. I mean, the stained glass collection is super expensive. I've literally only bought like 5 or 6 at a time on a sale. Give me a little bundle of the things I like the most. And I mean, the quality is top tier. They're a handmade brand. They're out of Canada. And they take so much love and care in producing their palettes. So I guess that's why this particular palette is actually about $10 more expensive than the other one. But I think is just a really gorgeous color story. So this says this is the sibling palette to the Paleo and Archeo, as I just mentioned. And this is a specialty palette that contains 12 shades and a variety of formulas inspired by the beauty of the oceanic nature and landscapes and cool tones lovers dream, filled with green, blue, and purple with a pop of warmth. And I definitely agree with that. So this is kind of like right on time because, the cool tones have been taking over and I'm here for it. But I feel like if you have a very warm skin complexion, hence I do, that this palette will still look really great on you. So just a few things about Clionadh Cosmetics. If you are not familiar with this brand, like I said, they are most known for their stained glass collection. And they're like some of the OGs when it comes to making those beautiful multi-chromes. They have so many multi-chromes, so many that even have like the same shade range with just different flips. And they're kind of like up there. To me, they're like the Pat McGrath of the indies. Just super special. Quality is amazing. So just a few things about it. Like I said, they are handmade, cruelty-free. But Clionadh gives, they're handmade, but it doesn't give handmade. It gives professional. When you look at this palette, it's nothing in here that reads to me that this is handmade. Maybe the mattes are a tiny bit softer, but they're not that soft. They're not falling apart. I've had other handmade formulas and I'm just like, I don't know if this is for me. But the quality control is amazing. So you definitely are getting what you pay for because the quality is top tier. And they are located in Toronto, Canada, and they're best known, like I said, for their stained glass collection. And they also have beautiful nail polishes. And a lot of times they have nail polishes that match the actual eyeshadows, okay? And these pigments are talc-free and filler-free formulas that deliver luxurious quality products with a high concentration of pigments. And if you want to know more, you can always run over to the Clionadh Cosmetics website to check out their webpage. And they are owned by two sisters, and so it is a woman-owned brand. So like I said, I have 3 looks for you, and they are super gorgeous, and I'm going to talk about my thoughts along the way. So let's go ahead and just get started with the video. It is time to get into the Oceano palette. This is gorgeous, and remember, this is the new addition to the previous 2 palettes. And do you see this color story? We already know that Clionadh has amazing shimmers, but I'm ready to try these mattes. My eyebrows are filled in using my Goof pencil, shade 3.75. And then I went ahead, like I said, I found this OG. She's been hanging around back there, so I'm going to put her to use. This is the Urban Decay Primer Potion in the shade Caffeine. So the shade Caffeine, I think it's been discontinued. I've talked about that a long time ago. I haven't been able to find it, but I've been using my MAC paint pot in Contemplative State, which is almost gone. So, you know, I'm trying to use up what I can because no eyeshadow is getting used up. So we're going to have to use up some other stuff in the collection, okay, to balance it out. But let's go ahead and get started. I just, oh my gosh, this shade, Mauna Loa, all of them are really calling my name. But this little beauty right here, so orange, so reflective. This is gorgeous. This might be one of my prettiest blue palettes in my collection. So right now I can tell you, this matte formulation, I'm already in love. It feels so good. It blends out so well. Look at the pigmentation. This was the shade, terrible. I'm gonna act like I don't even know how to read. Archipelago. Terrible. But that's the shade, okay? Just over here acting like I don't know my vowels, consonants, pronunciation. But blendable a little. There's kick up, so I would just go in gently. I just kind of blew away the little kick up I had. It's not dusty or anything, but there is a little kick up, so it seems like it's a little bit softer matte, but that blended out so easily. Really, really nice. So just so you can see, you have the blue shade right here. I did have quite a bit of fallout right here, but you see the kick up. So like I said, just go in gently with them. am back, and here is the first look. I think it came out so gorgeous, and I am really impressed with the shadows. Let's go into the makeup details real quick. Oh yeah, let's change the battery real quick. Battery change. Let's get into the face details. I went in with my Haus Labs foundation, and I wear the shade 400 medium deep warm. So I really wanted to use that. I've been kind of leery. I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work, but you never know what color I'm going to be in terms of the sun and stuff like that. So that particularly works right now, and or at least it seems like it's working. And then I also went in with my Haus Labs concealer in the shade, what is this, 40 medium deep golden. But I went ahead and paired my Fenty 350 on top of it just to give it a little brightening properties, because this really is kind of like, you know, my complexion to a certain extent. Went in with the Sephora stick, and that's the contour stick in shade medium to tan. Really been loving this. But then with this particular foundation, I went ahead and just kind of went over my forehead with my Juvia's Place bronzer just to give a little extra warmth around the perimeter. I don't know, but sometimes, like, I just need a little extra warmth right here. It was a little too cool tone with that contour stick. And then I went in with the Duality palette from Adept Cosmetics, this beautiful thing. And I went ahead and took these two blushes right here, the pink and the orange and orange, yellow and orange. It's like I can't even get it out. And for the highlighter, I went and took my Clionadh Fruit Lighter. And this is the tropical color. This one came out when they had the dragon fruit powder. I know they have several more now, so it's a nice like golden shade. And I used let's see, my Pat McGrath baby pink powder for the under eye right here. And for the liner, I went ahead with Power Trip with ColourPop. This is the multi-chrome liners. And for my lips, I took my Coffee Bean liner from Juvia's Place, and I was like, you know what, I need to like stop using the same thing. I have so many lips down there, it's insane, and I don't even buy too many lips anymore. But I was like, oh gee, okay, look, MAC Dazzle Glass in the shade Comet Blue. Love it. Love it. Okay, perfect. Always works with a brown lip liner. Always. And I was like, let me pull out these earrings because, you know, they're nice and pretty. These are old as dirt. Don't even ask me where I got them from. When I say old as dirt, they're probably like about 15 years old. Okay. Like literally, like, you know, if you take care of your stuff, it'll last, you know? So, I was like, I just need to wear something different. I've been wearing like the same 5 pair of earrings for like the last 2 years, basically. And I think a lot of that came from, I had to have this earlobe surgically repaired. So I wear like little tiny studs at all times just to definitely kind of keep this open. I've noticed that if I kind of go a few days without anything in there, it's an issue. And then like heavy earrings. These are not too heavy, but it's really took a moment for my ear to adjust to weight. But let's talk about the palette. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh, the shadow performances was amazing. I already kind of talked to you about the mattes and how they were very blendable, pigmented, and they are a little bit softer. So like I said, go into the shadows with a softer hand, if you, especially if you're someone who tends to be a little bit more hard-headed in your palettes. But they are beautiful. They blend themselves. When I went ahead, I decided to take Manta Ray, but then I wanted to give it a little bit more deepening with the undertow shade, and I think it really just did the trick because it still kind of stayed like that teal, but just gave a little bit more depth. And in addition, you can kind of see the little pop of blue. Now, this particular shade, which is Plankton, it really, I was like, oh man, this is really gorgeous. And paired with the shade Monolo, I just love this orange. Now, I am glad that I went ahead and used the NYX glitter glue. I do have Clionadh singles from the stained glass collection, and I feel like they do better work. They do work better with the NYX glitter glue on my particular eyelids, especially like in the little folds that I have. So I noticed when, I don't know if I just didn't put enough shadow right here, or when I was doing my face off camera, that it was kind of separating right here. So I did put a little bit more shadow right there. So I would definitely Probably use the glitter glue to get Sting Your Life of the shadow, but other than that, I think it's great. It's just giving a nice opulence. I was never worried about the shimmers because the stained glass collection, we know Clionadh can do some shimmers. So I was just like really curious about the mattes. Really gorgeous. Let's jump into another look. Second look complete, and I am in love. This palette is really just sparking my interest or my love for blue eyeshadows. Like I haven't really worn blue like this in a long time, but I am digging it. And I really just love how electric Luminescent is. It is just a gorgeous, gorgeous shade, a little bit thinner and texture, but it has a nice pigment as a down base, so you can put it over your eyelid without a different color or another color as a base, and it just kind of illuminates any other shadows that you put on. So hence I have Tidal. So Tidal was nice. It was it's a shimmer formula, but I was able to blend it into the crease and definitely get the little gradient that we have here, and I probably covered it up some, but where it really peaks is when I put Luminescent over it. So now that Tidal just looks even more intense and going down into the lid. Really pretty. I did just kind of pop Starfish right here just so I wouldn't have any blank space, and you can kind of see the primer. I didn't want to take the green all the way in, so it kind of acted as a more neutral shade and just kind of put Luminescent over it. And this particular shade, it is so beautiful. That is Urchin. Urchin blends in so nicely, and it just gives that extra sparkle factor right there. And I just love how this look came out. Face details are all the same except for this particular look. I went in with this particular pencil, which is the Ventura Boulevard. This is the same color pop multi-chrome gel liners. So this was a blue, and I failed to mention these lashes. There are from Decay, I want to say. I bought them off of Amazon. I have been absolutely loving them. Let me see if I can find them. Okay, whew, I was really looking for these. So these are Decay, and they're some brown lashes, and what I really like about them is that they kind of have a black band, so you kind of get that depth, and the lashes are really able to stand out, but they're very nice, light, and fluttery, and I think it just kind of brings an extra dynamic to the look, so they're not super stark. And I know I made a comment about stark lashes in my Adept Cosmetics video, but I think I was more talking about like the individuals that people get at the salon versus like strip lashes. Sometimes it's just too much on certain complexions where it looks really stark. But if you were looking for some brown lashes to kind of just do some playful looks, I think it just looks so playful. It looks good. I don't think, you know, the brown are for everything, but I really just love how it all comes together. So what I would say is also that I know I talked about the glitter glue. I think that my eye is just kind of doing that reverse tear thing. Every once in a while, the tear duct, my eye just kind of waters up and it kind of messes up the eyeshadow look. So I did have to go over and put luminescent on there a couple of times while I was working on my face on this particular eye. I know I talked about that with the first look, but I would still definitely, if your eyes tend to water or things like that of that nature, I would definitely go in with a glitter glue to help secure that shadow. So let's get into one more look. But this is so pretty. All right, third and final look. And I just love how this came out. It's very colorful, vibrant. Whew. Now, I do like how I completed this look actually better than, well, this eye better than this particular eye. So in this particular eye, I went ahead and took Mauna Loa and I put it in the inner corner first before applying the green shade. And I just think it came out so much better and it's a little bit more crisp and a little bit more, I don't know, cohesive versus this particular eye, but they both look good, to be honest. And I just love how the shades blended. And I definitely wanted to go ahead and give the matte Starfish a little bit more shine and to see how it will work. I'm pleased to say I've used all the shadows in this palette in some form or function. So I think that this palette is really, really beautiful. For this particular eye look, I did just kind of change up the liner, which I've basically been doing the whole entire time. I went in with my Pat McGrath Extreme Black liner and did that first, and then I layered this particular liner by ColourPop. It's still part of the multi-chrome family, and this one is called, I think it's Wild Idea, and it's a green one, but the green is a little bit brighter. It's probably like the shade of this particular green right here, and I felt like it would have been too bright on the bottom, but paired along over the black, it just gave the right amount of contrast. Everything else is the same, and I just love how these palettes work. I just really want Clionadh, after using this, I really want Clionadh to just kind of come out with some more palettes in this particular format. I know sometimes we get a lot of multi-chromes and a few mattes, and sometimes I feel like the color stories are a little chaotic. I know I was kind of really disappointed in how the Dragon Fruit palette layout came. And yeah, no, their palettes are they're very expensive, but their shadows are expensive. But I do feel like for a color story like this, that this palette is worth it. Every matte, every shimmer perform top quality. To me, there's not one dud in this palette, and that's a lot to say, because I want to say, you know, this one was more expensive. I'm not sure why, but it was. Let's check the website real quick. Yeah, so the Oceano palette was actually $82.79 versus the Paleo palette that I picked up, which is $75. So like, they're a pretty penny, but for this, I feel like it's worth it. It is expensive, but Clionadh is not cheap. It's just really not cheap. So I kind of, for once in a blue moon, to kind of just splurge on a palette like this, I think it is worth it. Like I said, I think that this is one of the prettiest blue palettes I own in my collection. I'm trying to even think what even comes close. I might have a Glam Shop Poland palette that is very pretty in terms of the shimmers, but not the mattes. So like I said, it's a pretty penny, y'all. I definitely did like a pay in four type of installment with the Paleo and the Oceano palette, but I just love it. I will definitely be using this palette more. The shimmers are just so nice. And even though these are not the traditional stained glass shades that you get with the Clionadh, the shimmers are, I mean, they're excellent and they are pretty and they offer something that's not just a flat shimmer. You know, you have this particular shade, Urchin. It's definitely lots of sparkle. You have the Ocean Glass, what you see right here, and they're high foiled shimmers. So just because high foiled, high shine, they do have some mica in it to give it that high glossy feeling. Like I said, even though it's not a multi-chrome or duochrome, they're not flat. They're not basic. So like I said, this palette is just so gorgeous. I'm really happy with my purchase. Yes, it's expensive. I think it was just like $10 less because, I mean, oh my gosh, this is $85 plus the shipping from Canada. But really, really gorgeous. I do not regret it at all. So I hope you have liked all the looks. Let me know, did you pick up any parts of this collection? Leave me a comment down below. Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which I'm trying to do. It's taking me a while, but we're moving. So that's progress, okay? And subscribe to my channel because, you know, I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. With all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the chair dance, chair dance. Hey, 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 chair dance. Chair dance. Chair. All right, y'all. Bye.